Draft of the Constitution of Khalistan. Victory be in the name of one God. Sri Akal Takht Sahib, Amritsar. 5-member Panthik Committee. Constitution. 1. A. The government of Khalistan will function as an instrument of the Khalsa Panth, and the Akal Takht will represent the authority of the Khalsa Panth, through the collective leadership of the Khalsa Panth trustees, the 5 beloved ones, or Panjay Pra. B. The Khalsa Panth is the extended Magnum Concilium, or Grand Council of the Sikhs worldwide, to which all baptized Sikhs, whatever their domicile, are eligible to belong. C. The functions and activities of the Khalsa Panth are coordinated by the Khalsa Panth Cabinet, through its own organizational structure, its constitutional instruments, and activities throughout the world. D. The role of the Khalsa Panth through the Khalsa Panth Cabinet is to act as the ideological, integrative, political, religious, and cultural caucus of the Khalsa, the members of the Khalsa Panth. E. The Khalsa Panth Cabinet will be the forum for all matters pertaining to the Sikh spiritual, social, economic, and political cultures, and the preservation of the Khalsa. 2. A. The right to consensus, or election of the members of the Khalsa Panth Cabinet and the Khalsa Panth trustees, will be only with the members of the Khalsa Panth. B. Divinely inspired, or learned and well-versed members of the Khalsa Panth, may be invited by consensus to serve as Panthic trustees, or as members of the Khalsa Panth Cabinet. 3. A. The Khalistan National Cabinet will be the forum for all policy execution and government executive matters. B. The Khalistan National Cabinet will be responsible to the Akal Takht. C. All the congressmen, councillors, cabinet members will be confirmed in office by the Akal Takht. 4. A. The Khalistan National Council will be the forum of discussion and debate, and enactment of laws, and will have the elected representatives of all the citizens of Khalistan, of whom 2/3 of the number will be members of the Khalsa Panth. B. The Khalistan National Council will have nominated representatives of each minority citizen group, by the Akal Takht. C. All the representatives, forming members of the National Council, will be at liberty for the expression of their opinions and proposals, and engage in debate and discussion in full freedom, on any matter with the greatest emphasis upon the ideals of Khalistan. D. The Khalistan National Council will have provision for the representatives of specialist interest groups, and for individuals representing their personal viewpoints and proposals. E. The Khalistan National Council, from amongst its elected representatives, will by consensus elect its chairman, the Secretary General of Khalistan, and a group of members from amongst its members, to become the Khalistan National Cabinet, of whom 2/3 will be members of the Khalsa Panth. 5. A. Every citizen, and the specialist interest groups, will be encouraged to participate in the national policy formulation, and the proposals of such interest groups, and the individuals, will be thoroughly debated in the forum of the Khalistan National Congress, which will be presided over by the Commissioner General, appointed by the Governor General. B. The range of activity by individuals and interest groups will be confined to the forum of the National Congress, and to the proposals for realizing objectives, in the national, economic, environmental, and social areas. 6. A. The Akal Takht will nominate to the elected body of the members of the Cabinet, a 1/3 number of additional members of the Cabinet, 3 of whom will be members of the Khalsa Panth, and all the rest will be non-Sikhs, including from minority groups. B. From amongst the members of the Cabinet, the members of the Khalistan National Council, together with the members of the Khalistan Cabinet, will elect the chairman of the Cabinet, who will hold the title of Governor-General of Khalistan. c. The Khalistan National Cabinet will be the forum for all policy execution and government executive matters. d. The Independent Khalsa Panth Cabinet College will be the forum for all matters pertaining to the Sikh spiritual and political cultures, and to the preservation of the Khalsa. It will also be responsible to the Akal Tact. 7. A. The government instrument and all its strategy units will be guided in all its policies and deliberations by the spiritual and political philosophy and principles of the Khalsa Panth, concerning the achievement of national goals and objectives, and these will at no time be at variance with those of the Khalsa Panth, in its commitment at all costs to uphold absolute equality, love, justice, human rights, civil liberties, equal opportunities, and just rewards. b. There will be no political or socio-economic activity at variance with the ideals of the Khalsa Panth. 8. A. The institution of National Council will have elected representatives of the citizens of Khalistan, on proportional regional, district, and village basis. 9. A. Every person, resident, or domiciled, or born in Khalistan regardless of race, color, religion, creed, or language, will be entitled to the citizenship of Khalistan, and the right to protection of the person, by the government of Khalistan, and its agencies or agents. b. Civil service personnel, of the systems and departments of the government instrument, will be recruited from amongst the citizens of Khalistan, including those holding dual nationality. c. The government will be the instrument, with overall responsibility, for the implementation of policies and strategies, and this will be achieved by the civil service, functioning under Khalsa political and strategy executives, of the several divisions and departments. d. The judiciary will not be independent, in the sense that its decisions will reflect the Khalsa's spiritual philosophy and cultures. At the highest level, every citizen will have recourse to the Akal Tact. e. Non-Sikh religious organizations will be permitted for their spiritual and missionary activities, but will not be permitted to participate in the instruments of government, nor in a political capacity. 10. A. The military at all times will be composed of majority of members of the Khalsa Panth. b. The armed forces will operate under the joint command of the five beloved ones, Panjay Pra, at the Akal Tact, and the Governor-General, functioning collectively together as a single unit of responsibility. c. All actions of the Khalistan armed forces will be governed by the Code of Conduct of the Khalsa Panth, and undertaken for, and in the service of the Khalsa Panth, and the citizens of Khalistan. d. The Khalsa members of the Khalistan armed forces will be expected to serve specifically under their oath of allegiance to Khalistan, through the Khalsa Panth at the Akal Tact, with the acceptance of the baptismal Kunde de Pahol, of the Order of the Khalsa Panth, with the commitment and resolve at all times, of ensuring the security and preservation of the Khalsa Panth and Khalistan. 11. A. Full civil liberties and fundamental rights will be guaranteed to all citizens in equality, regardless of race, color, religion, creed, or language. b. Dual nationality for the Khalsa resident abroad, with foreign nationality status, will be optional. c. Punjabi, Gurmukhi script, will be the first compulsory national language, at par with English, also compulsory, as immediate second language. Urdu, Hindi, French, and any other language of the minorities or groups, will be offered as an optional third language. Social policy. 1. A. Education will be compulsory. Emphasis will be laid upon liberal mass education. Marginalized epistemologies, devalued by Eurocentric colonialist thought, will be revived and studied. Importance will be given to Sikh philosophy, ontology, ethics, and history. Secular education will also be compulsory. Leisure will be encouraged, with facilities as cooperative institutions for educational leisure activities, and the opportunity to separate work, which for the Sikhs is a form of worship, from private life. b. Free education will be provided at all levels. All schools, colleges, and universities will operate as cooperative institutions. c. Free medical services at clinics, hospitals, and related institutions will be provided at all levels, and these will operate as cooperative institutions. d. Free veterinary services will be provided at all levels for all animals and creatures, and will operate as cooperative institutions. 2. A. Social welfare services, education facilities and services, leisure facilities, essential services, veterinary services, will all operate on advanced cooperative commercial patterns, correlated in all areas to compulsory contributions, interlinked with insurance schemes. In essence, every citizen will be a shareholding member in every national cooperative institution of basic and essential services. The contributions of the citizens will be linked with insurance schemes, covering every conceivable eventuality. b. Whilst under the umbrella of the government instrument, with its appointed representatives on the management boards, the national cooperative services will remain independent of, and unaffected by political strategy or policies, and treated as essential economic development objectives, and will be expected to function as reward-seeking corporate bodies. 3. A. Appreciation and preservation of environment, and desire for better living standards, with the national policy for every citizen to own his home and means of transport will be encouraged. b. The reward to each citizen, for services rendered, will be correlated with the individual effort and input, with the option for extra work input, for yet higher financial reward and the satisfaction of the individual. Economic policy. A. The economic system will be free enterprise and cooperative enterprise, based on private or collectivist ownership in a free market, and the development of corporate benefits and material wealth. b. Monopolistic control by either private or collectivist interests will not be permitted. c. The economy will typically be based on individual and collectivist entrepreneurial initiative, but with centralized planning guidelines and objectives only, and these mostly in the social welfare and related economic sectors. d. All social and essential services, with the participation of all the citizens, will be based directly on the highest and most advanced technology and techniques, and management will be based on the most advanced economic considerations which, in the final analysis, will determine the procedures to be adopted, within essentially cooperative corporations, to engender profit, and its distribution to the citizens, the shareholders. e. The reward for work in all spheres will be determined proportionally by formulae for each sector, based on the standards of the first world countries, so as to enable the release of purchasing power through each working individual, into the national economy mainstream, and enable each individual to make compulsory contributions to the essential and basic national cooperative institutions and the national insurance schemes. And additionally, with the calculated surplus, encourage industrial development and investment in the independent financial institutions, and to take equity in industry geared for the production of all essential products and goods. f. In addition to the agricultural sector, industrial production emphasis will be on housing, building materials, consumer goods, and the provision of services. g. The domestic market will be open to encourage maximum international integration, by the creation of financial and commodity markets, with minimal regulation. h. Saving policies by working individuals will be compulsory, and correlated to the graduated personal insurance cover schemes, the contribution to the national cooperative institutions, a tax relief system. I. Investment will be private or collectivist, and unrestricted. J. Mutually favorable, and satisfactory international trade and training agreements, and joint venture projects, will be encouraged and established. K. Economic growth rates will be encouraged, to be adequately balanced for the needs of an efficient mixed agricultural and industrial society. L. Ultra-modern highways, byways, link roads, and communications systems and airports, airfields, and heliports will rank highest in priority. Note: these urban development schemes have been disputed by some Sikh bodies and environmental organizations. M. The agricultural sector will remain of top-ranking priority, and will be correlated to international market requirements and competition. Industrial development and manufacturing will be given the highest priority at par with the agricultural and communications sectors, and competition will be encouraged as a necessary stimulus for growth. N. Labor representation will be encouraged, but will be restricted to representation of issues of justice, in all human spheres including financial. It will not be allowed to constitute itself as a union, or as an economic force, nor to threaten national or essential economic or social services and sectors. O. Environmental awareness and preservation will be made the essential concern of every working citizen, who will be required to contribute to the environment tax scheme. Foreign policy. 1. The Democratic Sovereign Republic of Khalistan subscribes to mutual respect for sovereignty, territorial integrity, non-aggression, non-interference in internal affairs, equality and promotion of regional security and related interest. 2. Sikh membership of the British Commonwealth. 3. Sikh membership of the United Nations Organization. 4. Offer to contribute with manpower, for service with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. 5. Endeavor to promote regional and continental development, with a meaningful far-sighted outreaching economic order, through an association of the Asian nations, to also link up and participate with the European Economic Community for parallel objectives, standards, and development patterns of society and systems, thus to strengthen the Western so-called free world, and prevent the inroads of the unacceptable political and economic systems that continue to check and subvert the upliftment of the subhuman existence of the millions of peoples, a circumstance that would, unchecked and unaltered, undermine the free world. In this, and naturally so within Khalistan, would be the satisfaction for the Sikh nation, in keeping with the divine command. The ideologue and raison d'etre for Khalistan is to serve to fulfill Waheguru's purpose for his Khalsa, to actively participate with, and uplift mankind and his creation, and work for the advancement of civilization.